Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Rich Likes Ramen, back at it again with yet another crazy, wild, wacky prank video. No, we don't do that here. I am going to be taking part of an Inktober variant called Peachtober from the artist YouTuber Furry Little Peach. My wife watches her videos and is going to be taking part of it, and she's going to try and hold herself accountable to completing every single day, because every Inktober she's not completed it, and I haven't actually done any art challenges myself. I'm always kind of too nervous to do them, but I'm going to take part in this. I'm going to be, I'll put the prompt up on the screen here, but I'm going to be doing one prompt every day for October. As you can see, I've got some very interesting prompts here, and I'm going to be starting off with number one, which is cave. Currently, it is not October, it is like a week before October when I'm filming this. A couple problems here. Issue number one, I am a 3D artist, and that's an issue because 3D art can be hard. It can take a long time to get details in. I don't speed model, which is problem number two. I'm not used to speed modeling. I like to take my time. I like to be meticulous with everything I do. So this is going to be new, and this is going to be interesting to me, and we're going to try and give it a go. I just want to get a bit of a head start, so that way for the more difficult renders I have a little bit more time to work with it, because I don't have much time at all. I have the entire day before to get the next day's stuff out. I think most people say technically you should be doing all of it that day. We're going to be doing Peachtober. So the first prompt is cave. Now, I had two ideas for this. Idea number one is Shellop's cave from Lord of the Rings. Idea number two, a little bit more outside the box, if you will. That was kind of like more of a circle than a box. Outside the box. Cave Johnson from Portal, holding lemons. So you can see where I'm going with this. So let's jump into it. Let's get started. Ready, so we're going to get started with a rounded cube. The rounded cube is best because it is easier to work with for its symmetry. You just delete half of it and apply the mirror modifier. Now what you're going to see here is I'm starting off and I'm trying to get this working right. Didn't like it, and so I started over, because that's okay. You know, we all make mistakes, and it's perfectly fine to start over. So what I'm doing now is I'm trying to make the stylized hair pieces, which I ended up messing up somewhere along the lines, probably by rotating it or something. It just was not working, was not filling out, but I eventually got it, and I wanted to mess around my cavity settings on the display there just to get things looking a little bit more stylized and sharp. One thing else I should have done is closed off both ends of the hair. That would have been great. And I apologize for the time jump there. For some reason, me putting the hair on, modeling that out, and putting the ear on went missing. I have it together, but it took me a very long time to try and get all this footage together. It's 5 hours to comb through. So unfortunately, I'm just not going to put it back. I really want to go with some stylized proportions, really just over the top kind of stuff, lanky, thin limbs, and just a big round body. was having some trouble messing around with the feet. I didn't really want to go too detailed into them just because they were going to be just loafers, and I made them way too big, and I started adding way too much geometry, really messing it up. In the end, it looks fine. You don't really see any issues in the final render. But after that, I get everything rigged. I made a quick lemon, and I'm just trying to rotate everything and see how it looks. Currently, there's a bit of an issue when it comes to the elbow there. The elbow is just pinching right into that. So one way that we can fix this is to tighten up the weights onto the joint where the elbow is, and do that for both the upper bone and the lower bone of the arm. Another thing I kind of did here was I left the arm piece that was underneath. I could have just deleted that. I probably should have. But I just decided I would fix it later, and I would just keep adjusting and repainting weights just to fix any issues of the shirt underneath popping through the jacket. Okay, right now I'm just trying to get that pose in that I was looking for. Just a nice casual holding of the lemons. And I'm just trying to position the hands to be a little bit more realistic. You know, you're not going to just hold one lemon in each hand and then just have a whole bunch of... You're kind of going to cradle your hand one slightly underneath the other. And I'm just going to place the lemons here in his arms, and I'm just trying to get the composition right as well. This is when I'm starting to really look at it. Some people will create their camera and never move it and kind of work that way, where you're composing that initial shot and you're going to model within those confines. I personally can't really work that way. I know the shot I want to go for, so I kind of design it for that. But I don't. I want to be able to have some wiggle room and be able to change my composition if I want to, and not have to so much change the entire piece. But whatever works for you, works for you. And this just happens to be the way I do things. I decided that a simple spotlight behind him wasn't going to really cut it, so while Googling Cave Johnson's lemon thing, I found this grenade graphic with the text from his lemon tirade, and I thought that was perfect. I would project that on the wall behind him. So I turned that into an alpha in Photoshop, and I put that into the spotlight, which I did not know that you can only do that in cycles. I wanted to work in Eevee, but apparently you can really only do this in cycles. So the more you know. There probably is a way to do an Eevee, I just haven't found out yet. And now I am working with the shot again, and I'm trying to think about how I want to place the lemons on the floor, and I'm like, I guess I could copy and paste, or I can do an array, do some sort of modifier on the floor, but I decided the best approach was going to be making it a physics object, and I haven't really worked with physics all too much in Blender, but I just messed around with it for a bit until I actually finally got it working. And yeah, physics is fun. Play with physics. So I made this floor here just for the lemons. It's not going to show up in the final render, but this is just something for them to collide into and stop on. I did choose the wrong collision box for the lemons. I thought changing it would be better, but it wasn't. So I changed it back, and I just copied and pasted a bunch. I did not care to do an array or anything like that. So once I saw everything drop, I was like, cool, now I'm gonna bunch you up and you can collide with one another. Looking at that, I liked it. It looked good. There's a couple of issues with 2 of the lemons there. Don't like it. Got rid of those. And I'm just trying to find the right spot for the lemons. If you look at them long enough, you see they all fall in the same pattern, which is unrealistic. I don't like it, but I decided to tighten up some of the weight paints before I did my final render and just get rid of some of that shirt popping through, and right before I go back to the lemons. I just want to take this quick time while I'm messing around with the render here to thank Osaki and Lofi Records for this music. Lofi Girl and Lofi Records are providing this music royalty free, so it's fantastic. You can go down to the description below if you enjoy it. This is from Osaki's Rooftop Memories. Really nice stuff on here. I personally love lo-fi music, and I like to listen to jazz while I work as well. Really mellow stuff, really helps me concentrate, and this is no different. Really like this stuff. And now we're coming into the final render here. We're going to show it off. This is what I decided to go with. I didn't do any stuff in Photoshop with it, but here's the final render. Tell me how you like it in the comments below. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. Alrighty, thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.